Hello, my beautiful friends. RAC is out. So finally have my podcast space ready and RAC goes out. And if you know me, you know that is just, I'm unwell when it is hot. So I'm at our kitchen island. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, I promise it'll be a cute YouTube channel at some point. But right now we just got to get a podcast done. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Okay. So I hope you liked last week's podcast. It was so fun to record that from Savannah at our annual Social Squad Society retreat where we shoot content and just help people in our membership. I have a couple memberships, but one is the Reels Lab and this other one is Social Squad Society. It's more of a mastermind, if you will. And then Reels Lab is like really hyper-focused Reels. But what we do is we get together once a year with people in our membership who want to join us for a long 4-day weekend. We have a private chef that comes. We stay in these awesome Airbnbs and we just shoot a bunch of content and brainstorm together. And it's women in all sorts of industries from all over. One of our members came to Savannah all the way from Canada. It was amazing. But I want to talk about something when it comes to good content, because obviously that's why you're listening. We know that that is what works. And I just want to preface this. It is May. I don't even know what day it is. May 8th or something. My reach is down. Everyone's reach is down because last week Instagram announced that they are switching up the algorithm. And I want to start by saying this. If you hear or you're scrolling and there's some, let me see. I haven't been feisty on the podcast yet, but I'm about to be. If you see some newbie marketer who is regurgitating rumors, false advice, false things about saying the algorithm has changed. Now they're favoring loop videos. The algorithm has changed. Now they're favoring carousels. Here's the thing. Instagram favors engagement, period. What gets engagement? That changes a lot. What doesn't get engagement is content that's not good. Good content always, okay? But it's not that the algorithm is constantly changing. It's that what works is constantly changing because our brains are at capacity. Amen? Can I get a witness? We're done. What I see going viral right now on Instagram we are now the second week of May in 2024. Everyone's exhausted. And let me tell you something. I was with all those women, 20 women this weekend, and everyone said the same thing. All the reels that they did, we created them on the spot. They would go, all right, pressing go, post. And we'd all be like, woo. And then we'd watch it. And every reel and all their reels did really well. Some of them got quadruple the views that they get. As we're sitting there, Keely, one of our attendees, was getting DMs saying, thank you for that reel. I needed to hear that. She was also getting leads as we're sitting there within an hour of posting. Okay. Good content. And you know what she said? She said the same thing that Mary said, that Jen said, all these women who had reels doing so well and they're like, holy bananas. And they're still going because we're talking not even a week ago was the simplest reel I've ever done. I thought everyone knew that tip. I've never done a reel like that. That makes so much sense. What I want to make is there's a couple points here. One, the simplest tip. We talked about it last week. The tips they shared are things that they would normally say. Doesn't everyone know that? So again, even if we do know it, we needed that reminder. Whether it was a product we forgot to buy or a hack we forgot to try, even if we've heard it, we want to hear it again. And most likely we haven't even heard it. So thank you. One that Mary did, who's a social media manager and marketer like I am, is one about like, hey, the next time you should was suggesting to business owners to create a B-roll folder in their iPhone so that when it comes to creating reels, it's a lot easier to find that B-roll. Now, that went crazy. People loved it. They're like, I've never thought of that before. Again, when I say simple, it's all our brains can handle right now, you guys. I said it last week. We aren't here tuning into master classes, right? We're in line. We are in the middle of something while typically scrolling Instagram. So with that said, Mary's did really well. She has two actually going really, really well. The other one said, actually, let's talk Keely's real quick first, because this is my other point. Bite-sized tips that are really digestible and ones that you go, I thought everyone knew that. We don't. All right, one of my girls in the Reels Lab just went viral with 3.5 million views. You ready for it? It says, if you like baking with fresh fruit, you need to coat it in flour first. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can actually see it. Shot with an iPhone, no tripod necessary. She leaned it up against her counter. Okay. Her account is all about baking. 3.5 million views. The next one that she also got from the Reels Lab, POV, you swapped European style butter and now for plain, and now this happened. 350,000 views. You guys, swaps, hacks, bite-sized tips, ideas, thought leadership. Hey, you know what you should start your morning with to help you da-da-da better? This, whatever it is. Okay. So that's what did well. Now let's go to Keely's reel. She did it at the retreat and it got, let's see, she's at 4,000 views and her highest views are usually around 4,000. Her others, she's had a few go viral, but usually she sits around 1,500. So she got over 4,000 for this one. And it says, and this is the other tip, ready? So for, again, good content right now, bite-sized tips we can take and run with and that we don't have to think hard about and that we are excited about, want to share with our friends because we want to flex, right? We want to be like, look what we saw. The other is I want you to flip the script on educational content, especially if you are a service provider, meaning you are a social media manager, a virtual assistant, a home organizer. You come in and you take things off people's plate. If that's you, listen up right now. What we did was we flipped all their educational content. They're normally exhausted, people in the service industry and people who take things off people's plates because they're like, I can't think of a tip. I don't share tips all the time. Stop it. Here's what's working. Here's what's considered good content right now. Helping them feel what it's like to have you in their life. We talked about this in the product episode too, right? So for service providers, here's what that looks like. Keely's, it starts out with me in front of a computer looking stressed out. And then she pushes me aside, is basically like, get out of here. You guys seen the TikTok girl? Get out of here. Please tell me you've seen that video. All right. Instead of, and this is what it says, instead of juggling your inbox, managing your schedule, troubleshooting while you're marketing emails and send, creating workflows, and posting your social media content, you could hire a VA for 10 hours per month to do it for you. Hello. It has like 19 or 20 shares, bunch of saves. All these VAs are sharing it. People in her field are sharing it, right? Because that's huge. And business owners are going, well, you know what? You're right. So educational content, I need you to start creating educational content that reminds them that they have a problem and that you are the one to solve it. That is called problem-aware content. People in weight loss, like your people, they've tried everything, but they don't know, maybe there's something missing in all those other programs that you do, and that's why it was the problem. So it switches from your problem to, oh, that was the problem. Oh, and that girl's going to solve it for me. Okay. Maybe you're a home organizer, kind of being like, I wish people knew that like having junk drawers and this and that is like totally normal and everyone else is like that, but I come in and do it for, right? Like, what is it that can justify, what is it that you can validate for them and say, I got you. That's still educating and it's empathetic at the same time. And that is a win, freaking win. So again, good content right now is problem aware, going, hi, this is why you're dealing with this problem that you don't even know you have. Keely's basically saying, they don't know it's a problem. They're like, oh, this is just part of my business. I have to troubleshoot this. No, you don't. You actually don't. The other one that I saw, other ones doing well where they're talking to the camera, like, here's how you can XYZ before your next blank, right? So people have things coming up this summer. They've got weddings. They've got vacation. They got their kids in summer camp. If anything you do aligns with any of those events that happen during the summer, start creating content for that now. That's good content because they're going to need it in a couple months. And what I mean by that, again, weight loss. Pool season's coming up. They're not thinking about that. They're not thinking about the fact that, oh, they're going to be probably tempted by all their kids' stuff and the ice cream truck and the this and that. You're going to make sure they know that that's the problem, but you're the one to help them and it's not a problem anymore. Hey, here's what to take to the pool this summer from Costco as a health coach so that you don't XYZ. Here's how to feel confident, or here's how, or if you're a blogger, here are the 5 dresses from blah, 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 under $100 for every summer wedding you have. Do you see what I mean? Like, I keep talking about specificity, but there's a reason that comes up a lot in this podcast. But again, the good content that it's doing right now is one, obviously relatability is always going to win. But right now, if you're trying to educate and make some sales and get some follows and get some shares and get some saves, bite-sized tip that is so obvious to you, right? We talked about that last week a little bit, but also I want you to flip the script on your educational content and start telling people, not teaching them what you do, teaching them what their life is like with you in it. So again, that's what a lot of the girls did. Another woman that was there, Christy, she's amazing. She's a website designer, right? Well, we were like, we bring out the stats. What's the stats between people who have websites and who don't? People are like, I don't have a problem with websites. I don't need a website. I sell off a Google Doc. Okay, cool. But do you know that if you took what you have on a Google Doc and put it on a website, you'd make X more money? They don't know they have a problem. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is how educational content has changed because we're exhausted. We don't want to be educated on Instagram. We want to laugh and maybe learn a quick tip to help our lives. But when it comes to education, I want you to do that. That is good content. And that's good content that's going to sell. It might not go viral, but it's going to get you sales. Because you're like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that every week. That's silly. You're silly for doing that. Same with the Reels Lab. People can come up with their own Reels ideas. I put everything I know out on this podcast, out on my Instagram. There is nothing I have not told you guys. Well, on this podcast, we're still going, but I have 7-ish years of content on Instagram. I have spilled every tip and tactic and strategy I know. So what I do when it comes to education, I give them really quick tips so they can get a quick win. But I also educate as what your life will look like with me in it. And that is how to make people feel calm and feel supported. And right now, that's all we want to feel, calm and supported. So the big moral of the retreat is a couple things. One, again, dumb tips. I know I hate saying that, but it's what it is. Everyone just kept saying it. They're like, that was so dumb. It's going viral. I'm like, I know. And then of course the other is, instead of spending 20 hours booking your Disney trip, I can do it for $500. Do you see what I mean? You can hire a travel agent. What is the benefit? The balloon artist. There's a balloon artist in my Reels Lab. If she goes, yeah, that balloon garland's $1,000. Do you think someone's going to get sticker shock? Yeah. But if she says, hey, guess what? You don't have to make runs to Party City in the morning. You don't have to worry about what it's going to look like. You can show up and be present. You don't have to be sweating. You get that Instagram moment with all your friends. Now it's $1,000. Sounds good. I don't have to spend 5 hours blowing up balloons and running to Party City and sweating my whole makeup look off as the mom of the kid who I'm trying to celebrate. And now my day can actually be about my kid. That's $1,000. Does that make sense, guys? I want, educational content, flip it on its head for a little bit and just test it out and do hooks like that. Instead of this, why don't you hire me to do it? Instead of not ever having an outfit to wear and thinking your closet is the ugliest place in town, what if you let me in there and add a few staples and you always know what to wear? So that's the big lesson from the retreat. Again, not that these types of content will go viral. They might, you never know if you strike a chord. But with that said, I'll end on this. So I did the same thing. I did hey, instead of feeling awkward around your friends and family and trying to get content and no one gets it, go on a content retreat with your business besties. And I've done 2 versions. One did okay. I'm not mad. I did another version of it today and we'll see how it does. If it doesn't do well, at least it's out there. The people who are sharing it right now and saving it and tagging their friends, they loved it. Doesn't need to go viral. I would never go, oh, your content's not good. You never go viral. There's so much good content that doesn't go viral. But if it's being consistent with the amount of views you normally get and getting a little more, then yeah, that's obviously good content. If it's getting shared, it's getting saved, it's good content because it's resonating. So I want you to give that a shot this week. Start educating people on what you did. Bonus tip, the other reel that we had everyone do, which again, won't go viral, probably, it might, is be transparent. We need transparency. So for the balloon artist, let's bring her into the, because her reels have been doing so well from the Reels Lab. It starts with like, here's what she could say, here's what a $1,000 balloon display looks like for a blah, blah, blah kids party. Someone could go, again, right? Be transparent. Social media managers, here's what's included in my blah, blah, blah package. So again, I think the more you educate people on what you do, what your prices are and why they are the way they are, that good content that you're creating and all the other varieties of content you're creating are going to now lead to sales and DMs. Like, how do I work with you? Website designers, what a $5,000 website looks like, what a $1,000 sales page looks like, things like that. All right, I'll let you go. I never want to go too long for these. I know you guys are loving the 10-minute episodes and I'm loving them. I'm loving the feedback. Love you, friend, and just keep creating that good content. Mwah.